Real quick before this video starts, I want to make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. We're going to have a lot of content coming up for the upcoming NFL season. So if you don't want to miss anything, hit that subscribe button, lock it down right here so you don't miss a single thing. So with the Browns matchup this week, I think it's going to be a matchup that is going to necessitate both quarterbacks having good games. Baker Mayfield's going to have to make more plays. Dak Prescott is going to have to do what he's done all season, quite frankly, which is make plays in the passing game. So I don't think there's much of a question there. But let's talk about this QB battle. I got Voch on here again. Voch, how you doing today?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Listen, man, before we get started, I know this is your show, and I don't really want to take it over like that, man. But, Cowboy fans make me sick. So let me just ask you as somebody outside looking in, what's your opinion of Dak Prescott as a non-Cowboy fan, sir?
He's very good. He's very good. Yeah, he's a very good quarterback. I think he's probably, top 10 at least. One of the better. I think he should have been paid probably last year. I don't know how he's going 2 years without getting a contract. But if Kirk Cousins got a contract and he looked like absolute Duke in Minnesota right now, I don't know how Dak's out here still on franchise tags.
Cowboy fans think Dak's well, not all of them. Let me just clear that up. Like, there are Cowboy fans, and then there are what I call I am legend monsters, just unreasonable people that just want to chase Will Smith in the city for no reason. Just ignorant people. But I just think Cowboy fans get a little ungrateful with our quarterback because we haven't won a Super Bowl with him. But I'm like, Dak is 27 years old. And in my mind, quarterbacks don't get good till they 30. Like, quarterbacks can win ball games, but they really don't figure it out. Like, Russell's been good his whole life. Russell Wilson, he's been good his whole life. But now, Russell's different because he sees the game differently. I'm like, fam, Dak Prescott is incredible right now. Let this man get 30. Why do we want to let go of this dude? Especially when all other teams, I talk to fans about this all the time, so my bad. Every fan of a team that doesn't have a top tier quarterback on their team or whatever, they would love to have Dak Prescott. But for some reason, ungrateful ass Cowboy fans just not feeling them. I don't get it.
It's good that we got into that because I think the first thing we have to talk about is how bad is Dak gonna? We know Dak's gonna attack this secondary. Joe Burrow did it. Dwayne Haskins is bad, but he threw 3 interceptions. But other than those 3 interceptions that he threw, he was able to move the ball on this secondary. Lamar Jackson, obviously, he's going to be able to move the ball on the secondary. So it's not been stopped by quarterbacks like Joe Burrow and Dwayne Haskins, who aren't really Dak Prescott at this point in their careers. So I have no kind of misgivings that Dak Prescott is going to have some bad day against his secondary when he has also the tool belt and the tools that he has on this team. So how do you think Dak's going to attack this secondary, and how bad do you see it getting for this Browns secondary?
I think Dak is like number one in most like passing ratings right now, and he's done that with the worst offensive line I've ever seen him have. But in the games or whatever, like when you can protect him a little bit, Dak is phenomenal, man. When you can keep him upright, Dak is really good. Plus, Zeke seems to be in, better shape than I've seen him in the past few years or whatever, whether it be his, court situation, whether it be a situation where, he's trying to get money. So he went to Cabo for the offseason and, he didn't necessarily get that full camp in. Zeke kind of, showed up a little weird, but Zeke has been in good shape. So this offense and it's deadly because there's danger all over the place. Like I was talking about the Browns, right? Like I said, this is no shot at the Browns, just real talk. Like, there's Chubb and then there's Beckham. Those are your guys. When Chubb comes off the field, Hunt comes on the field. Then there's Hunt and then there's Beckham. All right, cool. The Cowboys, Amari Cooper's incredible. CeeDee Lamb from the slot as a rookie is incredible. Zeke gets the football, he's incredible. Michael Gallup is a gangster in one-on-one situation. Most of the time he's in a one-on-one situation because Coop is taking up safety help somewhere. Like, your tight end, Dalton Schultz, is like the 5th option. You know what I mean? And we saw last week, Cedric Wilson, just a guy formerly of Boise State, comes off the bench and gets 100-plus yards and 2 touchdowns, right? Like, this offense is nice. We just got to stop giving points up. We just got to get Dak in better field position. We just got to make our field goals and we'll be fine. We just can't make small, dumb mistakes. So I don't think the Cowboys have a talent problem. We just have to stop shooting our own self in the foot. A lot of that comes with defense. A lot of that comes with kicking game. So we can clean those things up, we'll be fine. But offense, for the most part, the offense is going to be dangerous, man. So Baker got to put points up, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely. So going off that, how would you, if you were Mike McCarthy, try to specifically attack this Browns defense, the secondary?
If I was a head coach, if I was an offense coordinator for any team, we win the Super Bowl, and that's just how I feel. But you gotta isolate the slot, find your mismatches. I don't think your linebackers are going to be able to run with our running backs, and your linebackers can run. If anything, they can run. I don't think they can run with Zeke and Tony, and we should be using Zeke. We should be using Tony a lot more, But that's a whole nother conversation. Amari Cooper in the slot is probably the most dangerous offensive weapon that we have, because that's when mismatch city comes. Because if y'all have a corner following him, and y'all probably won't, but if Ward is healthy enough to play, then he might. If you put Coop in the slot and Ward comes with him, then you got a civilian on the outside with Lamb, which is bad. Or if Coop is on the outside, then a civilian is inside with Lamb. So you kind of got to pick your poison there. Zeke's going to run the football, like I said, find your matchups, take advantage of them, and let Dak boogie with his feet. Let him move on the ground. And it may sound like you could just whatever. Okay, Dak's going to run, but like after 5 levels of top tier offensive talent, all right, there's Coop, Lamb, there's Gallup, there's Zeke. Now you got to worry about Dak possibly running the football, and he's not going to do it a lot. And I kind of like that. It's not like a Lamar Jackson situation where he just run the ball any play. But Dak runs the ball when it's like 3rd and 10 and we got Dak Prescott now, and you bail everybody out, and then he breaks your back with a run. You see what I'm saying? That's where Dak makes his money, with his feet. So it's a lot of different ways to hit you, man. We've been doing a lot of pick plays, a lot of movement, just a lot of little stuff like that, man. It's a lot of ways to get you, but, we just got to execute, bro. If we execute, it should be good to go.
Right. So let's kind of flip sides of the ball here. We kind of talked about Baker Mayfield in a different part of this interview, but I think there are some areas in this secondary that Baker Mayfield could have some success attacking, and that's because specifically of the personnel that he has. I looked, and I'm going to sound like a real football nerd here, I'm sorry. I looked at these passing charts of the last 3 weeks against Dallas. It seems like underneath has just been open all day, and it usually is, but it's been kind of a specific problem, especially Russell Wilson got 2 touchdowns underneath against y'all in week 3. With Jarvis Landry being able to run under there, Jarvis is an absolute monster after the catch if he can get the ball going with any momentum. Odell underneath, I think you probably got to sacrifice Odell to probably get some people out the way in order to get the ball to Jarvis, so I think they're probably just going to let that one happen. And also, it's been a weird trend. It seems like nobody wants to throw to Xavier Woods. So just tell me about this secondary. Is Xavier Woods like really as good as some of the numbers indicate he is?
No, and that's why I don't really get into numbers. Like somehow PFF tell you that the worst damn wide receiver in the league is the best on 3rd downs or something. They'll find a way to make that make sense. Our DBs ain't great, man. Our DBs ain't great. So if y'all gonna beat us, you gonna have to beat us in the air. But I don't think that's gonna be a question about whether we let you beat us in the air. Are y'all gonna take the correct steps to beat us in the air? You said it perfectly. Hey man, Landry's a beast with the ball in his hands. If we can get it to him, you know what I mean? Odell Beckham can beat any DB on our team. You put Odell in the slot, he's amazing. You put him on the outside, I don't know how often y'all do it, but you should do it more. You put Odell anywhere, he can beat any one of our guys. Odell Beckham only having 4 catches last week is criminal. Well, week before that, whatever week that was, criminal. Eli Manning shouldn't be the example that you look to when you think of how we should use Odell Beckham. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on with y'all there. But the actual name of it, the actual threat of it, Cowboys got to respect it. Now, Trevon Diggs is probably going to be covering Odell. I don't know if that's a great idea or not, but Diggs played pretty fine against Julio Jones. DK Metcalf was cool, but he ain't really whoop us like that. So Diggs is probably going to be on Beckham, and you can take advantage of that with some nuanced route running, with some explosion, with some setup plays, but are you going to? That's the question. You know what I mean?
So I don't know how familiar you are with what the Browns kind of have done throughout the year, but it's been a run-heavy kind of like Shanahan offense. Do you think that's something that they're going to be able to stick with? Because when the Browns do stick with that offense, that play action heavy, zone run heavy, they seem to be able to move the ball pretty good. And I think they can move the ball against anybody if they do that. Do you think that's going to be a problem? You think Dallas is going to specifically stack up the box there and just say, try to beat us with Odell there? And is that a dangerous bet for Dallas to make there? Because Baker Mayfield's a little unproven in that area, but that's still Odell.
That's the point. You know what I'm saying? So y'all should run the ball with Chubb and Hunt. Yeah, pound the football, right? But you should also find a way to get your number one receiver involved. You know, you just shouldn't be so run heavy that you're neglecting Odell Beckham. You know what I mean? But if Baker got to make the throws, then he should make the throws with some kind of misdirection. He should make the throws with a little bit of play action. You know, he should make these throws. The Browns get in trouble when Baker just got to drop back and throw it. When he just got to drop back and make a decision, that's where the issue comes in. You were saying earlier about passes underneath. Yeah, that's the way to get us. And you know how the first three teams beat us with passes, with shorter passes underneath is they would play action it, disguise it, make it look like something else, and then hit guys on drag routes, hit guys on crossers or whatever. You like that's how we get beat down under. I don't know if the Browns going to be able to do it. I mean, it all depends on if y'all, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I just got to drive it home, man. It's up to y'all. And even if y'all did the right things, I don't know if y'all could beat Dallas still, but I would like for the Browns to reach their full potential because they talented and they got a lot of players I like. I just got to see y'all do.
So one of the scenarios I've been thinking about, because I'm with you here, I don't want to give away my prediction before I do my preview, but I think the Browns are going to have a hard time if they let Dallas control how this game is paced. If they're letting Dak go up and down the field and they're not able to do their thing on offense, they're going to have a problem. I think the Browns' best bet, and you can tell me what you feel about this, is they probably either have to score first or you hope they can capitalize on a turnover and try to go up by at least 10 points, and then they can dominate, well, not dominate, but control at least the pace at which they go. And I think the more they can run, the more they can feel comfortable in doing that without having the clock be an issue, the more possible it becomes that you can do what you have to do on offense to be able to kind of negate anything that Dallas is going to be able to do. So it might be one of those situations for the Browns where it's like, hey, Dak's going to get his money. Just try to get him picked off one time so you can get that kind of advantage so you can keep doing what you're doing. That's the game plan, honestly, I would go for. Just try to get a turnover because you ain't going to stop Dak. I don't think there's any misgivings about that. But what do you think about that kind of a game plan? And do you think the Browns are going to be able in position to be able to do that?
I think it's a narrative from the big networks that the Cowboys don't play well from behind. I don't necessarily agree with that because if you look at the first three games, we were behind in all of them, but we kept shooting. We just kept shooting and all those games, no matter how many points our defense gives up, oh, we're down by 3 touchdowns. Oh, we're down by 2 touchdowns. Let's boogie. You know what I mean? And we catch up fast. But when it comes to the Browns, like I said, it's just me being honest. It sounds good in theory. And if it was any other team but Dallas, that's a great game plan to try to jump out early, run the ball, kill the clock. That makes sense. The problem is when the Cowboys catch up, because they always catch up, do the Browns have the offense to continue the fight? That's going to be the problem. Because with the Falcons game, Seahawks game, both games, we were trailing by 2 possessions at half, and the Falcons it was 3. Even when we caught up with those 2 and 3 possessions, the Falcons and Seahawks still came back and scored like 2 more times, and we had to score 2 more times to match that. So if you're the Browns, Quincy, that's a great idea, but you just can't go up by 10 and then slow down. You got to keep your foot on our throat if you got us down. That's just fair. So your number
about the Browns.
So your number was 10. I think the number should be like 20. And it sounds crazy, but the last 2 teams had to go up by 20. It's just the Cowboys been putting up numbers on offense, man. We just got to play defense. That's it.
Yeah. I just think for the Browns, like I agree with you that the Browns aren't at their best when they're trying to, because they did try to kill Washington when they played them and go 5 wide and try to take these shots downfield. They just aren't executing well from that. Against Baltimore, when they went down early against Baltimore, they tried to do that. They just don't execute well from those sets yet. I don't think those sets are there yet in their development. I don't think Baker's there yet in his development in order to do that. And if that becomes something you need to do, then that's going to be a problem against Dallas, because I don't know if Baker's there yet to be able to do that. So, yeah, I do agree with you there. The more you need Baker Mayfield to throw the ball more, the more issues you're going to run into offensively.
From top to bottom, the best game that y'all played was against the Bengals. From top to bottom. Baker wasn't involved very, very much. Plenty run. But when Baker had to get involved and y'all was putting up points, it'll be some dump offs. We'll get some yak yards. I don't even mind you throwing the ball deep to Odell. Throw the ball deep to him. Odell probably should have had 2 more touchdowns that game if it wasn't for some phantom holding calls and phantom. They didn't call the PI or whatever. Grab the man jersey, whatever. That's what y'all need to do, Quincy. Every single time. That's what y'all need to do. Run the football, get it to Odell. But y'all ain't gonna do it because y'all don't want to do right. Y'all don't want to be great.
We'll see, man. Sometimes I don't know with this team yet. It's only been 3 games. Sometimes they come out, they do exactly what they need to do. Sometimes against Baltimore, they decide they're just going to try to show up in empty and throw the ball on Baltimore's secondary. So I have no idea what they're going to come out and do. Idea. That was not a great idea. It was a terrible idea.
Y'all should never go empty. Go empty for.
Yeah, I agree with you. Every time they go empty, they look pretty bad. So I hope they don't do that. I hope they stick to the base. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting matchup with these two teams. I think the Browns' offensive line. Let me start that over. I think the Browns' defensive line is going to get a healthy test against this Dallas team. Browns' defensive line been playing well, but I think Dallas's offensive line is starting to get to that point to where they're being the Dallas Cowboy offensive line. And even when they, quote unquote, weren't, they were giving up a lot of pressures, not a ton of sacks. So not a lot of guys finishing.
Quince, we haven't been that Dallas offensive line in 5 years, man. Y'all got to stop. We not them dudes no more, man. Like Doug Free and Ron Leary, Travis Fred, them guys gone, man. We are retooling. We got I mean Leal is good, but he fat and out of shape. Tyron's good, but his neck hurt. And Zach Martin just doing the best he can, man. So we not those guys. And to be fair, our D line ain't that neither. Like Alden Smith is our best player. Alden Smith ain't played football in 5 years, best player, but he's one of those guys because he's talented in that way because he got length, he got natural power. He's not one of those technical, I got to be current guys. Alden Smith can just roll out the bed and just be better than people. So he's our best guy on defense, so look out for him. Leading the league in sacks, by the way.
Yeah. All right, Voch, before I let you go, been pretty obvious what you think this game's going to go with. So let me hear the score prediction. What do you think this is going to look like on Sunday more than likely?
Man, with all due respect, because like I said, I love the Browns, fans, Reddit, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to y'all, man. But I got Cowboys by like 15 or 20 or so, man. Respectfully. That's just respectfully. I got, 35-21, I say. 35-21.
Interesting. It's going to be an interesting game to watch.
I can't count. That ain't 20 points. I can't count. Whatever. But yeah, 35-20. Yeah, sure. I'll take that. 35-21.
Interesting. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. And if you're a Browns fan and you're salty right now that he predicted that, respectfully, follow Voch on Twitter. Voch, let him know what the Twitter is.
Let me have. How's your rookie right tackle, by the way? Left tackle.
Jedrick Wills? Jedrick Wills has been pretty good. He had a little bit of anxiety, it looked like, going up against Chase Young early. He had a couple penalties early on. He looked like he was kind of anxious to get after it. But when Chase Young got hurt, obviously, but when he was going against Montez Sweat, he looked like he kind of settled down a little bit. Sometimes he gets, not confused, he's just a little bit not sure what to do in some power run situations in the end zone. So he ends up just like letting the play get blown up a little bit. But other than that, he's been fine. He's been making the transition well. Like, he's making rookie mistakes, but other than that, he's been looking as advertised. He's been looking good. Wyatt Teller also been a beast inside of that guard position. All right, Voch, let them know where to find you.
Voch Lombardi everywhere. VOCHLOMBARDI on YouTube, on the Twitter machine. Y'all can go find me if you want to. I talk Cowboys content all year, so I'll be breaking down the film after the game. So if you want to see what the Cowboys did versus the Browns, you can come check me out in the week. And if you just don't want to deal with my Cowboys content, I do good draft stuff starting in January. So come find me.
Definitely, he's a man to find when it comes to that draft content. I watch it every year. It's some of the best stuff on YouTube. So make sure you guys check him out there. And honestly, after this game, I understand you don't want to take it if the Cowboys win. But after this game, make sure y'all follow Voch on Twitter. It's a very funny follow because he be roasting these Dak haters out here. And it's a good time over there. So make sure you guys subscribe and follow Voch. Support him on all platforms. Voch, again, thank you for coming on here. And guys, have a great day. Have a good night.
Salute.